How in the world did everyone miss this crypto asset? From being made fun of as a crypto project that was placed on stage next to the bathrooms at the world-renowned 2017 Sibos conference, before all of the hype, to being frankly detested by the wider crypto community for being the annoying frog army born out of the cesspool that is 4chan.
I mean, at the same time, I do think that, you know, their frog army on Twitter can get a bit intense at times, but
the frog army?
To having absolutely impeccable lore, such as having an anon by the name of Assblaster, for years spoon-feeding the public on 4chan, hint after hint after hint, that Chainlink was going to be working with some of the largest financial institutions in the world in 2017 and 2018, only for literally every single one of those rumors to have been confirmed true. We're talking partnerships with the likes of the DTCC, Swift, Euroclear, the US government itself, MasterCard, Google, banks and central banks from the world's biggest financial centers. And yet this asset still ranks outside of crypto's top 5 by market cap? Is anybody even paying attention? I'm either witnessing a generational fumble by literally everybody, or I'm about to drop the single most important video you'll ever watch on Chainlink.
I mean, that's just cool. I mean, that's exciting. I'm excited. This excites me. It does.
This isn't just another crypto project. Chainlink has been described as 1/3 of the God protocols, a trifecta of blockchain infrastructure that includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and now Chainlink. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they don't really need an introduction. But Chainlink, it's a God protocol for a reason. Their team has cemented their legacy through a legendary, absolutely filthy product lineup, legendary personnel, and legendary collaborations. It might not even be a stretch to call it the Google of blockchain. Let's get started, shall we?
Okay, let's go.
Bitcoin delivered uncensorable money. Ethereum delivered an unstoppable world computer. But blockchains are isolated islands. They can't see the outside world. They can't verify what happened off-chain. Suppose you and your buddy lock $1,000 into a smart contract to bet on the Super Bowl 59 game. Bills versus Eagles. The game ends. The Bills won, but the Eagles fan claims the whole game was rigged, refuses to pay out. Thankfully, smart contracts execute automatically. So regardless, someone is going home with $1,000 less in their pockets. But who tells a smart contract who won? It's not the Bills fan, and it's certainly not the Eagles fan. We need someone neutral. We need definitive truth, not a truth, the definitive truth. An oracle of sorts. Someone to tell the smart contract facts about the IRL human world.
It's not a matter of a brand or a logo or a certification sticker from somebody, good marketing, fuzzy, I'm your friend, you know, we're gonna not be evil together thing. It's just like deterministic physics, fact of life level stuff.
Now scale that up, not $1,000. $867 trillion in financial assets waiting to be tokenized. Some even say quadrillions of dollars. We're talking loans, we're talking insurance, we're talking treasury bonds, we're talking real estate, all waiting to be moved on chain. Whether the Bills won, or what's ETH price is at right now at this very moment, or how much it rained in sub-Saharan Africa. Any number of on-chain and off-chain facts that a smart contract needs in order to execute reliably. Enter Chainlink, the company that invented the entirely new category of decentralized Oracle networks in 2017, bridging the wet, sloppy world of human facts with the dry, deterministic, black and white world of code. Not a brand, not a policy, and not a bunch of people with misaligned incentives saying, we promise.
That is the tool set. That is kind of the triangle of tools that is going to completely reinvent society. Once again, from a society that's based on promises and based on weak trust assumptions into a society that's based on truth guarantees. That if we are able to provide cryptographic truth to the world in an easily consumable, secure, easy to use, easy to implement manner, then that is how the whole world will work.
Most of crypto is one trick. Chainlink is the full stack. Chainlink would be nothing if they weren't delivering on paper. And while most crypto companies are known for one product in one category, Chainlink operates like the Google of blockchains. A full suite of infrastructure that works together. Because here's what institutions quickly learn. Building smart contracts that move real money at scale is a nightmare of combobulating together 10 different solutions. You need price data from provider A, you need cross-chain from provider B, compliance from provider C, and privacy from provider D, and good luck getting them all to talk to one another. First, let's talk about what sits at the core of the Chainlink infrastructure that makes the heartbeat tick.
We don't have a blockchain. There is no Chainlink blockchain. What there is many Oracle networks, right? So there's an Oracle network for each individual piece of definitive truth.
Most oracles are a single point of failure. One API, one company, one central point of trust. If they lie or they get hacked, your smart contract is screwed. Everyone is wrecked. As a result, Chainlink invented the Decentralized Oracle Networks, or DONs for short. Instead of trusting one source, DONs use multiple node operators that run Chainlink infrastructure. They're responsible for fetching data from multiple sources, aggregating all of that off-chain data using cryptographic consensus so that the data can't be gamed or manipulated or tampered with, and then submitting one verified report on-chain signed by a quorum. These node operators stake link tokens to have economic skin in the game. If you deliver bad data, you get penalized. If you maintain uptime and stay accurate, you earn rewards and then you build reputation. More Chainlink services will want to use that particular node operator versus others. The result is a trust minimized system where no single party can manipulate the data. And these DONs aren't just used for price feeds. They're the architecture running every Chainlink service that you can imagine. As of December 2024, over 90 different node operators are running Chainlink DONs, including Deutsche Telekom, Swisscom, and other major crypto staking providers. The foundation of Chainlink's product line is its bread and butter price feeds. They are used everywhere you can think of in crypto to deliver accurate, robust, and ungameable price data.
Today, oracles are mostly price, but they can be so much more. Now, price is a good place to start for all kinds of reasons. Everybody in crypto understands it. And the thing is that they're a good place to start for another reason, which is that they're perhaps the most valuable kind of information to manipulate. So if you can get reliable price feeds, you can make reliable feeds of other data types, right? If you can get a false price on chain, you can make money in a very direct way. So there's a strong incentive to corrupt and falsify this. So if we can solve the Oracle problem for price, we can probably solve it for a lot of other things. So it's actually a good place to start, even if it's not that obvious.
Think of a lending protocol. You deposit $10,000 worth of ETH in order to borrow against that collateral $7,000 in stablecoins. And then overnight, Ethereum crashes 30%. Your collateral is now worth $7,000. You've become under-collateralized. The protocol now needs to liquidate your position before you owe more than your collateral. To protect the lenders who deposited stablecoins. But the critical question begs, who tells a smart contract what price ETH is at? If the Oracle reports a stale price, like for example, ETH is still way too high, you don't get liquidated. Now, all of a sudden, you owe $7,000 on $7,000 worth of collateral. If ETH keeps dropping, the protocol becomes completely insolvent. Lenders can't withdraw their money. The protocol death spirals. If the Oracle is manipulated to report a price that is too low, then you get liquidated unfairly and you lose your entire collateral. This isn't hypothetical. This happens thousands of times per day across hundreds of protocols with billions of dollars in loans outstanding. The Oracle must be accurate, tamper-proof, and fast enough to protect both borrowers and lenders. Get it wrong and the entire protocol collapses, or even the entire crypto market. Today, over 2,000 price feeds across 60+ blockchain networks actively secure over $100 billion in assets. To be clear, if these oracles fail, that's $100 billion at stake. And Chainlink has survived multiple devastating crypto market crashes. That's a Lindy test in action. But institutions tokenizing real-world assets need more than just crypto price data.
You know, I do believe we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets, from real estate to equities, to bonds, across the board.
They need net asset value data for mutual funds, as an example. They need proof of reserves to verify sufficient collateral backing. Corporate actions data for stock splits and dividends. Chainlink's Smart Data Suite pipes all of this institutional-grade reference data on-chain through the same decentralized Oracle infrastructure. So there's no single point of failure, and it's always cryptographically verified and has 24/7 uptime. But data on-chain is useless if those assets cannot move between blockchain networks. Enter CCIP, the cross-chain interoperability protocol.
Having a reliable cross-chain system basically allows the assets that your financial system generates to be purchased by people outside of your financial system, which means that the financial system will experience net capital inflows, which is fundamentally what everyone working and making and defining and legislating and regulating a financial system want.
Blockchain bridges have historically been giant honeypots for hacks, with some estimating close to $3 billion having been lost to bridge hacks. Chainlink's approach with CCIP, multi-layered security through decentralized Oracle networks that verify every single step. When assets lock on one chain, CCIP's committing dons reads and verifies that stake. Then the executing don writes it to the destination chain, completing the transfer. There's independent verification at every transition point. CCIP has moved close to $6 billion to date. Now, that's peanuts compared to crypto degen bridges. But Chainlink is building institutional-grade architecture, and institutions are not using degen crypto bridges. I'll tell you that much. Institutions need the kind of guarantees that only a team like Chainlink can provide. Because if they're settling billions in tokenized treasuries and cross-border payments, they need tech with pedigree. But then here's the thing that institutions cannot ignore. You can't just move capital on-chain without some sort of embedded compliance. I'm talking about KYC and AML checks, investor accreditation, sanctions screening, and policy enforcement. The sort of things traditional finance built its empire on. Chainlink's Automated Compliance Engine, or the ACE, handles this through cross-chain identity, or CCID, a reusable identity standard that stores cryptographic proofs of verified credentials on-chain while keeping personal information off-chain and confidential. You just complete KYC once, and then use those credentials across multiple platforms. Then the Chainlink Policy Manager is tasked with enforcing rules, both regulatory requirements and internal business policies, all automatically written within the smart contract. This means when someone tries to buy a tokenized security, the smart contract can automatically check, is this person or entity accredited, or are they sanctioned? Do they meet the fund's requirements? All enforced in code, no manual intervention needed whatsoever. But then if everything happening is on-chain and public by default, that's a deal breaker for institutions hiding sensitive pricing strategies, client data, or proprietary pricing. Chainlink's Confidential Compute solves this using Trusted Execution Environments, or TEEs, tamper-proof hardware enclaves that execute computations privately, combined with zero-knowledge cryptography through Chainlink's Deco. This enables privacy-preserving identity verification, confidential data feeds, and encrypted cross-chain transfers. And then the Blockchain Privacy Manager lets private chains connect to the public Chainlink network while controlling exactly what data gets exposed. You can verify a transaction happened without revealing the amounts, the parties involved, or the terms. Finally, smart contracts need to execute automatically. Chainlink automation triggers on-chain actions when predefined conditions are met, like liquidating an under-collateralized loan when prices move. Chainlink Functions, on the other hand, connects smart contracts to any external APIs and runs custom computations off-chain. Verifiable random functions, or VRF, provides provably fair randomness using cryptographic proofs. These aren't sexy, but they're critical infrastructure. But here's what actually matters. All of this runs through Chainlink's Runtime Environment, or the CRE. One unified orchestration layer where you can combine data feeds, cross-chain settlement, compliance checks, privacy-preserving computation, all into a single workflow. This is the unified architectural advantage. You're not stitching together 5 different vendors, hoping they all play nice. It's one platform, one integration, one security model. And it works. Chainlink has enabled over $25 trillion in transaction value when an oracle is needed somewhere in the stack. It's also actively securing over $100 billion across 70+ blockchain networks. Chainlink isn't just building products. They're building the standard for how institutions will interact with blockchains, and the economics work. One of the biggest memes and critiques thrown at Chainlink is token not needed. And so, to add salt to critics' wounds, Chainlink launched the Chainlink Reserve, a strategic token buyback program. Every week, Chainlink will use payments and revenue received from the institutions that are integrating with them to buy Link off of the market and lock it into the reserve. As of this recording, the reserve is sitting at around 1 million Link tokens, and the team has increased its buying volume in recent weeks. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. Link holders who stake in the Chainlink staking pool earn around 4% APY in Link rewards. Plus, they get access to the Chainlink BUILD program, where early-stage Chainlink partners allocate a certain number of their tokens to Chainlink stakers, letting you capture upside in projects building on Chainlink infrastructure. Now, I get that was a very long section. My apologies. But on product alone, Chainlink is king-made, but everyone is asleep at the wheel. The Chainlink products lineup is stellar, but all of that infrastructure doesn't just get informed, strategized, or built up magically. You have to have stellar personnel who understand deeply the problem space for which only they are uniquely qualified to build solutions for. Here's the thing about building Oracle infrastructure that banks will trust their trillions with. This is not a typical startup problem. This is a convince the most paranoid, risk-averse people on earth to adopt your technology problem. So you need deep crypto credibility and the ability to speak Wall Street's language. Most crypto companies have one or the other. Chainlink has both. And of course, we have to begin with the leader of the pack, co-founder of Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov. Sitting in the upper echelon of memed founders in crypto. He's infamous for his blue plaid t-shirts and his Brooks Adrenaline Gore-Tex shoes. Sergey is as OG as it gets, mining Bitcoin since at least as early as 2010. But here's what separates him from most other crypto founders. He actually does founder marketing. He's relentless on the media appearances, interviews, podcasts, and even Wall Street news outlets. He's building Chainlink's credibility in both worlds, the crypto native culture and institutional business development. And he knows the art of business. Just listen to Charles Hoskinson, ex-co-founder of Ethereum, current spiritual figurehead of Cardano, talk about Sergey.
They're good negotiators. Sergey is an extremely smart man, and he's a very good businessman, and he kind of sees the future, and he knows he's sitting on a golden egg, and he knows what he's worth. And I like people like that. There's honesty in those conversations.
Oh, and there's absolutely legendary lore behind this man. Unsubstantiated, but frankly hilarious to consider, including the fact that Sergey registered the domain smartcontract.com a few days before the Bitcoin white paper was released in 2008. Or the fact that his initials are the same as Satoshi Nakamoto's, leading to the infamous meme SN equals SN. Or when asked by Lex Friedman on his podcast whether he was Satoshi Nakamoto himself, Sergey was seen to tap out on his fingers in Morse code S and N.
Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? There's quite a few people who suggest that person is you. So, is it you?
No.
Who do you think it could be?
I don't know who it is. I think if I had to guess, it's probably a group of people, some of which might not even be around anymore, which I'm not, by the way. I am not this person.
But if you were.
Wild? Yes. Unsubstantiated? Absolutely. But entertaining? You bet. But a man does not a company make. And here's where Chainlink separates itself from the rest of the pack of crypto projects with charismatic founders, but low to no substance. Building institutional-grade Oracle infrastructure requires serious academic firepower, the kind of credibility that makes banks and central banks actually pick up the phone. Enter Ari Juels, Chainlink's current chief scientist. Just check out his resume. Current professor at Cornell Tech, co-director of the Initiative for Cryptocurrencies and Contracts, or the IC3, that has been doing serious crypto academic work since at least 2015. And also, he's contributed deep research work in the field of RSA cryptography. And here's the absolute banger. Ari Juels co-formalized the concept of proof of work. Yes, the same proof of work used by Bitcoin in a paper written in 1999. 9 years before Bitcoin. Let that sink in. The cryptographic foundation that's currently securing hundreds of billions of dollars, perhaps even trillions, that Bitcoin and Ethereum was built on. Ari Juels helped invent it before most crypto founders were even thinking about computer science. This man has been building the cryptographic bedrock of this industry longer than most people have even known crypto exists. And to this day, he continues to contribute to cutting-edge research efforts at Chainlink, including Deco and fair sequencing services. But wait, there's more. You know a company has serious pedigree when you are strategically advised by former CEO of Google and kingmaker Eric Schmidt. Just listen to Eric Schmidt talk about Sergey and the Chainlink brand strategy.
And these are network businesses, so once you get a little bit ahead, it's very hard to catch up to the person ahead of you. And now in your case, because you were early and very smart, obviously, you got in there first. So you see it from the standpoint of the person who's ahead. Because in your vision, Web3 will be universal across the globe. It'll be used in some form by almost everyone. So one way to, when we initially were doing Google, our goal was, we want a little piece of Google in everyone's computation, right? So for example, the DNS that you use is almost certainly the Google DNS, right? Google, roughly a third of the world's internet traffic goes through, I think that's still the number, through Google Fiber. You would never know that. Now, are these gifts to the world? Yes, thank you very much. But they were also in our direct financial interest because it meant that we knew what was going on.
Yeah, having a piece of computation every computation is a good idea. I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that plan. It's a solid plan.
Yes. Is there any particular reason why you can't just announce that that's your plan right now to your customers? We want everyone here to have a piece of Chainlink in everything that you do.
Let me be clear. When the guy who scaled Google thinks your crypto infrastructure play is important enough to be advised on, you're no longer building a meme coin. You're building critical, pivotal crypto infrastructure. Beyond those three heavyweights, Chainlink boasts a supporting cast that is second to none in crypto, including Steve Ellis, the other Chainlink co-founder who's leading engineering at the company, Balaji Srinivasan, former CTO of Coinbase and well-known Twitter polymath, and founder of the Network State movement, who also happens to be a strategic advisor for Chainlink.
So that means crypto wallets can control real resources in the physical world. And in fact, of course they will, because every Web 2 piece of software gets hacked, but Web 3 doesn't. So in the fullness of time, anything that you really care about will be protected with on-chain security.
And absolutely legendary Chainlink evangelists on Twitter like Chainlink God, aka Zach Rhines, the Crypto Oracle, and Fishy Catfish. This isn't your typical crypto team hyping vaporware on crypto Twitter. And they're building infrastructure that's already in production, securing hundreds of billions of dollars. Most crypto projects, they talk about enterprise adoption and institutional partnerships, but Chainlink's team actually has the credibility and the technical chops to walk through those stores, sit down at the table, and close the goddamn deal. So we've got an elite product lineup that actually works. And we've also got a team with the credentials to actually build institutional grade infrastructure. But here's the important question. Does anyone important actually believe this? Are the people who move trillions of dollars, the banks, the central banks, the hedge funds, the data providers, the people who literally run global finance, are they buying what Chainlink is selling? So let me remind you of something that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Assblaster was right. All the rumors were fucking true. Goddamn Assblaster. And this isn't just one or two proof of concepts that will never see production. Chainlink is systematically capturing every single layer of institutional finance.
So I think that's what it'll look like. I think the institutional world and the DeFi world and the non-blockchain world and the blockchain world will just merge. It'll just be the financial system.
If you don't believe me, here's just a handful to whet your appetite. And it's just a handful because mentioning every single partnership that Chainlink regularly announces every week would require a feature-length film. And I don't have the time for that. We've got Swift, 11,500 partnering banks all over the world, $150 trillion moved annually, building on-chain infrastructure through Chainlink. JP Morgan, first cross-chain settlement of tokenized US treasuries using Chainlink infrastructure between their private chain and public networks. Monetary authorities of Singapore and Hong Kong. Live tokenized asset pilots and cross-border settlements, all running on Chainlink. The DTCC and Euroclear, fixing Wall Street's $58 billion worth of annual data chaos using AI and Chainlink's golden records. Deutsche Börse, the parent company of Europe's largest derivatives exchange, publishing real-time data on-chain via Chainlink. S&P Global, stablecoin stability assessments on-chain. The ICE, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, bringing Forex and precious metals data on-chain. The FTSE Russell, the Russell 1000, 2000, and 3000 index data, all on-chain via Chainlink. UBS, $6 trillion in assets under management. First ever production tokenized fund workflow using Chainlink's DTA standard. Fidelity International, $6.9 billion fund with live net asset value data published on-chain via Chainlink. ANZ Bank, cross-chain stablecoin settlement using Chainlink's CCIP. Google Cloud, weather data to Chainlink nodes. Associated Press, electoral vote data. Truflation, real-world inflation metrics. And the US government itself, macroeconomic data on-chain using Chainlink. All building on Chainlink. All in production or advanced pilots. All happening right now. And yet everyone thinks this is a giant nothing burger, leading to, in my opinion, the single largest knowledge gap the market has on any single crypto asset. The smart money already knows. Swift is building on it. Central banks are piloting with it. Wall Street is adopting it. The institutional players who actually move money at scale, they've already made their bets. The only people who don't know, retail.
Have a secure way to connect across multiple chains to form what we call the Internet of Contracts. So Chainlink is sometimes a little bit difficult to understand because it's a low-level infrastructure technology It's kind of like the pipes of what makes a lot of advanced blockchain and smart applications work. It's kind of below the surface.
Right.
And similarly in the internet, there's many technologies below the surface that power the internet. HTTPS, SSL, TCP/IP, that's the kind of technology that Chainlink is.
Listen, I'm not trying to tell you to go out there right now and buy some Link tokens. I really don't like giving out financial advice on this channel, and you must always do your own research. But let's zoom out for a second. You've got a crypto project that literally invented decentralized Oracle networks, secures over $100 billion in assets without a single critical failure, has enabled $25 trillion in transaction value, is actively being used in production by the likes of SWIFT, the DTCC, UBS, JP Morgan, central banks, monetary authorities, who has a chief scientist who literally invented proof of work before Bitcoin even existed, and is still ranked outside of the top 5 in total crypto market cap. That's not a red flag, that's a knowledge gap. Most people don't understand this about institutional adoption. It comes in waves. First, the institutions are building in silence. Then they pilot. Then they go live in production. And then, only then, does retail wake up and realize what has happened. By the time CNBC is already talking about it, and your uncle is already asking about it at Thanksgiving or Christmas, by the time the whole thing becomes obvious in hindsight, the gap is already closed. The opportunity is already priced in. You've got real institutional players building with Chainlink, while retail is still out there gambling with meme coins and zombie chains and prediction markets, completely asleep at the wheel. You're watching a knowledge arbitrage opportunity in real time. Let me remind you, Chainlink accomplishes something very few crypto companies can do. A trifecta of sorts. They've solved a very fundamental problem, the Oracle problem that smart contracts needs to be solved. They've convinced legitimate institutions. This is a problem they're uniquely positioned to solve and build for. And they've created true internet meme sorcery to incept viral ideas like Assblaster, the Frog Army, God protocols. Most projects get 1. Maybe 2 if they're lucky. Chainlink has all 3. Now that you've begun ascension into deeper understanding of the Chainlink value proposition, you have a choice. Keep researching while the gap exists, or wait until everyone else figures it out. The smart money has already moved. The institutions have already chosen their infrastructure. The only question is, when does retail catch up? Now that you have a deeper understanding of the Chainlink value proposition, have you considered your own understanding of stablecoins and the pitfalls of over-reliance on them? You only need one short explainer to know why stablecoins aren't as stable as you may think. Watch my next video on the cold, hard truths about stablecoins and how you can protect yourself in a few simple ways. That's it for now. Peace!